Fantasy football fan, what's going on? This is Fantasy Football AF, and I'm your host, Mitchell Renz. Guys, I need you to do this for me, please. I need you guys to go to Tavour.com and find rare craft beers from all over the United States, just like this one, Bites and Beatbox. I want to give a shout out to Tavour for hooking us up here at Chat Sports, and they would hook you guys up too. Use promo code ChatSports for $10 off your very first purchase. So, Fantasy Football fam, let's get this one going. I got waiver wire rankings coming up next to help you guys, win week 5 on the waiver wire. I want to give a shout out to Tavour, and you guys need to please check out Tavour.com. Get $10 off your very first purchase when you use promo code ChatSports. And guys, please remember to subscribe to Chat Sports on YouTube so you never miss an episode of Fantasy Football as Coitus, is what Cam Rogers calls it. Shout out to you guys. Let's get into my waiver wire week 5, guys. And I'm starting with the quarterbacks. And the top guy that you need to pick up on the waiver wire is Jameis Winston. Now, the Bucs are on a bye week 5. And I don't normally like recommending guys, especially with my number one, as the number one option when they're on a bye. But Jameis is the only clear starter I think that can actually have a good amount of fantasy production at the quarterback position. Last year, Jameis Winston tied for the most 300-yard passing games in the NFL with 6. And I think if you ask most people, Jameis was pretty bad last year. Now, he came into the game this week, 145 yards, a touchdown, 2 picks. Sure, Jameis is going to throw picks, guys. It's going to happen. But he's going to be the starter. Once Jameis comes back, he's going to be the starter. Okay. Fitzpatrick has thrown for 400 yards in his first 3 weeks, and then they benched him because he was playing bad. If this Bucs offense continues to click with, Deshaun Jackson, Godwin, Mike Evans, maybe Ronald Jones can get it going. Who knows? Jameis has got a bunch of weapons, and I'm telling you guys right now, if he's out there and you need a quarterback, pick up Jameis Winston. If you miss on Jameis, here's some other guys that you can potentially rely on, as I weirdly burp. Baker Mayfield of the Browns. I still think you can pick him up. I like him from a year-long standpoint. I think he's going to be a good quarterback that you can rely on all year if you missed on your quarterback earlier in the draft. Derek Carr. Derek Carr is a guy that I think that you guys need to at least put on your radar. The Raiders' defense is bad. And with the Raiders' defense being as bad as it is, it means Derek Carr's got to chuck it. He's going to chuck it a lot. He's thrown for over 280 yards, I believe, in every single game this year. And he threw for 424 against the Browns last week. And then Mitchell Trubisky. Mitchell Trubisky threw 6 touchdown passes this past week. He threw for 7 last year. Now, I don't think he's going to throw for another 6. But still, that Bears offense looked much better. Jordan Howard is playing, Manti Te'o's girlfriend. He's gone. And I think right now they're just going to keep working that offense right now with Trubisky, who's got a lot of options to work with. And I think he continues to look good. So, if you missed on Jameis, those are the other guys. All right. I want to know from y'all, who is the worst starting quarterback in the NFL? Now, if I really wanted to piss people off, I'd say Joe Flacco. But Cam hasn't been feeling well, and I'm not going to do that to him. So I want to know from you guys, who is the worst starting quarterback in the NFL right now? Let me know in the comments. Worst starting quarterback in the NFL. Tweet at me, at MitchellRenz365. Give me yours, and then I'll give you mine. Guys, you know what isn't the worst thing in the world? It's Tavour. And in fact, it's not even close. Tavour is my second favorite app behind the Chat Sports app right now, where you guys can curate rare craft beers from all over the country. And it's amazing because they send you push notifications, and you're going to find, rare key lime pie beers. It's October. I'm a basic Mitch. And pumpkin beers, they're out, and they're amazing right now. And you guys can find all these amazing rare craft beers at Tavour.com. Use promo code ChatSports for $10 off your very first purchase. And maybe one of my favorite things about it, it's free to sign up. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain at Tavour.com. All right, we're going to get into some waiver wire running backs here. My favorite guy this week is Nyheim Hines. Nyheim Hines was one of those guys that I talked about in this offseason as a potential sleeper. And in week 4 against the Texans, this guy was hella good. 9 catches, 63 yards, and 2 touchdowns. If you're in a PPR league, Hines, I think, is an RB2. Why? Because he just keeps getting so many receptions. He has 22 receptions this year. You know who else has 22 receptions? Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey is definitely a guy I think we can consider as a solid PPR running back. Now, I'm not going to compare Hines and McCaffrey as, equals. But the fact that he's got 22 catches in 4 weeks, that's pretty good. This guy did run the fastest 40 time at the NFL Combine. He's got a whole bunch of speed. The offensive line for the Colts still hasn't looked all that great. They're trying to get the ball out quick, and Hines has been a reliable option. He fumbled twice in the preseason, and since then has looked really good with ball security. So Nyheim Hines is a guy that I really, really like on the waiver wire for week 5. If you miss on Hines week 5, here are 3 other options for you guys. Those options are Ronald Jones, He's coming back, or he came back last week. He still didn't look all that great, but I'm hoping with Jameis Winston, the new offense, maybe Ronald, Rojo can get it going a little bit. Nick Chubb, man. Nick Chubb was just running through that black hole this past week, man. He looked so good, and they still lost, even though how well he ran. Carlos Hyde is still one of those guys who I think is their main running back, but don't sleep on Nick Chubb. He's a guy who I really liked coming out of Georgia. And then Mike Davis. Mike Davis, over 100 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. Mike Davis had more rushing touchdowns by the running backs for the Seahawks last week than the entire Seahawks team had all last year. Shout out to J.D. McKissick, who had the only rushing touchdown for the Seahawks. So those guys, if you miss on Nyheim Hines, those are my other 3 guys that you should consider. All right, Master Debaters time, right? Would you rather be invisible or able to fly? So I think we talk about superheroes and all these kind of random crazy shit here on this show. So would you rather be invisible or able to fly? Give me a laughing face for invisible or a wow face for fly. For me, I'm giving my wow face because I think invisible is kind of overrated. Like, why would I not want to be seen? Doesn't make sense to me. Maybe if I was like 6th grade Mitch, I could be invisible to do some weird shit. But like now, I think I'd rather be wow face and I want to fly. Who doesn't? All right, waiver wire week 3. Week 5. Can't read. Sorry, too much beer. Waiver wire week 5. It's Keke Coutee of the Texans. Now, Keke Coutee, as Brett yells at me, got it. Week 4 versus the Colts. 11 receptions, 109 yards on 15 targets. Will Fuller is battling an injury. Go figure, right? He's battling an injury, and if this Texans offense gets rolling the way that I really hoped it would, this guy's a guy who you could potentially rely on, and he's a guy that I liked a lot when he was coming out of Texas Tech. Now, if Keke, is that a song by Drake? I think so. Week 4 against Colts, if he can keep continuing to get high target share, this is a guy who I think you could rely on. And if Will Fuller is out, who has shown good chemistry with Watson, if he's opposite of a guy like DeAndre Hopkins, he's going to see single coverage. And Keke, do you love me? I think I do. If you miss on him, here's some other 3 wide receiver options that you guys could go for. It's Ryan Grant from the Colts. He's been okay, but with T.Y. Hilton potentially banged up, he could be the #1 wide receiver on that team, which is kind of funny to me. Taylor Gabriel, the Bears absolutely just ran train on the Bucs, and I don't know if that's going to happen again, but Gabriel still saw a solid amount of targets. He was a guy that the Falcons could rely on. I don't know if you remember him 2 years ago. And then Dede Westbrook. Dede Westbrook right now I think is the best wide receiver for the Jags. And hey, if he keeps getting a few targets a game here and there, Dede is a guy that you could rely on. If you guys think that I look good in my Mizzen and Main shirt, so I need you to do. I need you to go to www.comfortable.af. Guys, I'm telling you right now, chicks love these shirts. They're soft. They're wrinkle-free, like something else that I have. So that's something that I have in common with Mizzen and Main. And I want you guys to go to buy your own Mizzen and Main shirts because I'm telling you, chicks love these shirts. So go to www.comfortable.af and you guys can be as comfortable as me in your own skin because when you're wearing Mizzen and Main, I'm telling you, you're not going to be more comfortable in your entire life. Waiver wire, week 5 for the tight ends. My favorite guy this week, it's Vance McDonald. Vance McDonald has been an absolute monster these past 2 weeks, and I want to apologize for recommending Jesse James because Jesse James, the first 2 weeks was good. And then Vance McDonald was like, yeah, hold my Tavor beer because I'm taking this job. And in week 4 against the Ravens, 5 catches, 62 yards. He has a 100% catch rate the last 2 weeks. 9 targets, 9 catches. And Vance, when you watch him against Jesse James, it's not even close who's the more talented tight end. And I think Ben is starting to realize it. The Steelers are starting to realize it. And that's why Vance is going to be the guy who you can rely on. 5 targets in week 2, 4 targets in week 4, or week 3, and then 5 targets in week 4. Like Vance, dude, he's going to be the guy that you're going to want, especially from the tight end position. If you miss on Vance, these are some other options. You can go with Tyler Kroft because Tyler Eifert, go figure, is injured. He did have a gruesome injury. He's more than likely out for the year. Tyler Kroft, though, is I think a guy that you could rely on, be at least a red zone target for a red-hot Andy Dalton. Cameron Brate. Hey, I want you guys to find yourself somebody who loves you like Jameis Winston loves Cameron Brate. Cameron Brate has been a no-show all year. Jameis Winston gets in the game, touchdown Cameron Brate. And then Austin Hooper. I like Austin Hooper because, well, the Falcons are putting up a whole bunch of points. And with the Falcons putting up a whole bunch of points, hey, tight ends, they like to score.